Hi, my name is Dova, and welcome to Walking and Talking in Video Games. Tonight we'll be walking through Skyrim while I gently talk you to sleep, discussing whatever my ADHD brain decides it wants to think about. I'm so glad you're here, and I want you to know that you are safe here, and you are important. Now, let's get to walking. Tonight we're starting in Whiterun. We'll probably get a lot farther than this, but for now this is where we are. If you're familiar with Whiterun, you might notice that things look a little bit different, and that's because I have a mod called JK's Skyrim, which adds a couple of aesthetic things, a couple of functional things as well, just to make things look a little more immersive, maybe like they actually would, just a little prettier. I absolutely love Skyrim. It's been my favorite game for like 11 years now. It's just, I think one of the reasons I love it so much is because it's filled to the brim with dragons. I mean, dragons are the main part of the story, but it's not just that. I am a fan of RPGs, and also, sorry, I have my sensitivity turned all the way down, but still the camera moves pretty fast with just the slightest push to the stick on my controller, so I'm trying to be gentle with it. But it's just such a good game. There's so much to it. It's completely packed with content, and there's so many things to interact with, people to meet, and you can never get bored with it because as soon as you do, you just download a mod that adds new quests or changes up the NPCs, and suddenly it's a whole new game. It's really amazing, not just the game itself, but the community as well. There's so much to it. I have my HUD turned off because I wanted things to feel a little more immersive, but that also may mean that I end up trying to enter a house that I should not be entering, so we'll see. But for now, here we are. Ugh. Why is it so empty in here? I guess no one wants to hang out at the inn at this time of day. Is this an inn or is it just a bar? Hello. That's not the talk button. I get mixed up because in most games, A is the jump button and then something like X or Y is the interact button, but this game is the opposite. Oh, I did it again.
If it's work you need, how about chopping up some wood for the fires? I assume you saw the Gildergreen? Big tree all burnt up in the middle of the Wind District? It's part of the Temple of Kinnareth. People want Danica to do something about it, but I don't know what they expect. Need anything else? Just let me know.
The Gildergreen. That's a fun quest because the cave that you end up in is just so beautiful. I'm not really sure where we're going to end up in this adventure or how many different houses I'll end up invading. We'll see. And that coin purse is just ripe for the taking. But we won't. We'll be good today. Usually I record these at night, but right now it's in the middle of the day for me, so I feel like I'm having a harder time getting into the mindset that I usually
And what of my son? What of Thorold? Is he nothing?
would be in.
Take pity, lady, and spare me a few seconds. Your son chose
The last time I played this, I had a mod on that changed all the dialogue. It's called Skyrim Badly Translated, and it changes all the dialogue to be... Basically, they put all of the dialogue in this game through Google Translate 40 times through different languages, and so everything came out super messed up, and it is so funny to hear the things that people say because they don't make any sense. I wish I could remember a specific line, but oh, it changes the item names too. I remember gold is called
Those two
dreams
at it again?
for some reason.
Come on now. Watch the footwork. Keep your balance. Nice.
Oh, they're not even fighting.
My imagination.
Get in there and push.
They gave up quickly.
Just keep swinging.
Well, this is the beauty of Skyrim. Sometimes things don't quite work. And this one might be my fault because I turned off AI detection. I thought they would still detect each other, but basically I just didn't want them to detect me so that whenever we get out in the wilderness, people won't start to try to fight us. I also have unread books glow to make it easier for whenever I'm normally playing, to make it easier so that I can get all the skill books without having to try to remember if I've already read a book or not. I don't think they'll ever finish their fight. But that's okay. Oh, I guess skill books glow orange. Or is that might just be a burned book. I don't know. Let's go down here. But yeah, usually I would be talking to you a little bit more just about life and things in general, but I feel like my brain is really slow right now and I can't even think of anything. You know what? Maybe I'll pull up a random question generator or something just so that I can kind of get those thoughts flowing. Because I feel like I'm just lost looking at everything right now. I will do that. I'll do that in a minute. Actually, you know what I will do is I will pull up my list of ideas that I wrote down for storytime videos. And originally, whenever I started writing those down, I started keeping this list years ago, because I wanted to do animation YouTube videos.
But I still hear the call of the blood.
We all do. It is our burden to bear. But we can overcome.
You have my brother and I, obviously. But I don't know if the rest will go along quite so easily.
Leave that to me.
But anyway, I decided that animation YouTube videos were just more work than I was really wanting to put in. Because I talked about this in my last walking and talking as well, because I was going to do 100 days arc videos, and it's not that I'm not willing to do the work, it's just that I want to not be restricted to only putting out maximum one video a month. So that's what it would be like for animation videos or 100 days challenge videos, just because they take so long to make, and for the 100 days challenge videos you have to record like 100 hours worth of content. So it's a lot. So here we are, making these instead. And on my other channel, I'm thinking I will do game show style videos where I make like trivia shows or something for my friends. Maybe make challenges within games as well. I've thought about that. But for now, we'll start with kind of Jeopardy style, or like not only Jeopardy, but like game shows that don't require you to own a specific video game. So another one that we're gonna do in the future, not to give too many spoilers, but it's going to be a debate style event. So that'll be fun. And it won't be debating serious topics, we'll be debating silly topics. So It should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. But for now, I'm focusing on the sleep videos. And honestly, these are really nice to record because they're very calming for me, as well as for... Where did everyone go? As well as hopefully for you, I hope they're calming. It can be hard to remember sometimes to keep my voice at this calm, kind of whispery, not whispery, but like quiet, calming tone. Because especially if I start going off into a story or something, I get excited and I start being loud. Not loud, but not the calm tone and quietness that I'm trying to maintain. But I am doing my best, and it takes practice, right? So thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's go into Dragon's Reach. I wonder if Lydia will be in here. I don't remember how much of the story I've gotten through in this playthrough. Not very much, I don't think. Usually the companions are one of my first stops, but evidently I had not been in there because that fight only happens whenever you enter for the first time. Looked like they were going to have an argument.
Barbara, did you slip out again last night for a drink at the Bannered Mare?
Heard about that, did you? Yes, I went out for a pint or two. What of it?
These secret visits to the tavern will make you an easy target for an enemy assassin. You should have told me first.
Damn it, woman, I'm the Jarl of Whiterun. I won't apologize for talking to my people. You can't protect
Another
me
funny
every
thing
moment
from
of the day.
the badly translated
That might be
mod
so.
is
You'll
Jarl
never stop
Balgruuf.
trying.
His name got translated to, I think it was Jarl Big Ball or something like that. It was just super silly. Oh, in my first ever playthrough of Skyrim, I stole the sword in here, and it's crazy because it's a master lock to get into this, and it's an enchanted... Actually, this one doesn't look enchanted, but the one that I pulled out was an enchanted elven sword with the soul trap enchantment, but it's a master lock, and I was at the very beginning, so my lockpicking skill was super, super low, and it must have just been pure luck that I was able to open up the lock. Because because it was the beginning, I didn't have very many lockpicks. But I had tried to get my dad into Skyrim around that time, and whenever he got to that lock, he asked me to try to unlock it for him. Or maybe he was trying and he couldn't get it and I offered, but I couldn't get it either, and I broke his last 4 lockpicks. So I must have just gotten super lucky to be able to unlock it in my game. And I used that sword, I used that sword for a long time. And the soul trap enchantment early in the game is really good, because then you can keep filling soul gems for your later, better enchanted things. Another stone of Baranzaya. One day I'd love to add some really nice graphics mods, but that's gonna be down the line. For now, I'll take what I can get. I need a better graphics card, but, well, I don't need it. I need it if I want to record higher quality gameplay, but I don't need it. but I would like one. That'll be my next PC upgrade. Or, well, it'll be my first PC upgrade since building it a couple of years ago. Shoot, I guess it's been like 3 or 4 years now since I built my PC. That's kind of crazy. I went most of my life without having one at all. So having one has been really nice. There's so much you can do with it. I grew up on the Xbox, and I still have an Xbox Series X, but having a PC is just super nice. There's so much more you can do. Let's see where this door leads. I don't remember where all the doors go. There's a lot in Skyrim. Oh, this is just back where we were. I think this one leads out to the place where you capture Odahviing. Spoilers, sorry. Also, I have 3 dogs in my room right now, so if you end up hearing dog noises in the background, I apologize. I love the Skyrim night sky with the aurora borealis. It's very cloudy tonight, but you can still see it. Night skies in video games can be some of the most amazing things, and I really appreciate when developers put effort into them. Wow. You know what else I want to try is there's an AI mod for Skyrim where you can make the NPCs, I think they get powered by ChatGPT, and so you can talk to them, like actually type in, I don't know if you can speak to them or if you have to type it in, but you can say whatever you want and they'll respond in completely unique ways, like they're real people. I think that's super cool. Let me pull up my story time list. And in a minute, whenever I run out of things to talk about again, I will consult that. Ooh. Guess we're having family dinner. Might as well join in. How are we supposed to see your faces with all this big stuff on the table? He's not even eating. Are they starving the kid? What are you eating? That looks nasty. That bread looks awful.
Father says I'm too young to train with the sword, so I practice with my fists.
Okay, son. Whatever you say. They're starving the children. They have not. Well, no one has anything on their plates. Oh my goodness. Need a mod to fix that. Not much in this room, is there? Just books. Is this the balcony? I think so. I also downloaded Planet Zoo so that I could do a playthrough of Planet Zoo and as a sleep video, because I figured it would be a calming kind of game to play. But I opened it up last night and opened up the sandbox version or the sandbox mode so that I could just build whatever and kind of practice, and it's kind of hard to get the hang of. For one thing, moving the camera around is kind of, I don't know if it's unique compared to similar games, but it's certainly not what I'm used to. So basically what you have to do is you can only, the left mouse button is only for selecting things. So in order to move the camera around, you have to hold down the right mouse button. Or no, sorry, that's like, but you can't angle the camera that way. You can kind of just move horizontally that way. But if you want to angle the camera, you have to hold down both mouse buttons or the scroll wheel. And it moves the camera a lot. It's every time I move the camera, I end up getting really far away from what I'm trying to focus on. And so I think I need a bit more practice before I make a video with Planet Zoo, because I don't want it to be miserable to watch because I can't figure out how to work the dang camera. But getting habitats and animals and stuff, I think I'm kind of getting the hang of that. I've been playing through the tutorial. Is this a dungeon? I don't remember. I try not to get myself arrested in Skyrim these days. It's just annoying to have a bounty. However, I will do a jailbreak any day for Inigo, the Khajiit follower. He's awesome. He's really well made. He's really well voiced and designed, and his story's awesome. I wish that his quests were finished, fully fleshed out, but they're not, and I think I read that they won't ever be. That they kind of took a break from developing it and at this point aren't gonna go back, but I don't know, maybe. This is a really small room. Well, if the court wizard has to sleep in here, no wonder he's angry all the time. He's sassy. Lots of unread books in here. Alright, I think we've seen enough of Dragon's Reach. No Lydia. I wonder where she waits before you get to the point in the quest where they give you your housecarl in Lydia. Nazim. Back whenever I was making meditations on this channel, and I might make more in the future, but for now, kind of focusing more on these. These are more fun for me. But back whenever I was making meditations, I had this plan for April Fool's Day. I wanted to do a day in the life of Nazim meditation. And it's not April Fool's Day yet. I still have time, but I don't know. I think it would have been funny though. But I think I just don't really have the time to work on it right now. Here's the... Is it the Elder Gleam or the Gilder Green? It's got no leaves. It must be winter. Isn't it always winter around here, basically? Man, look at that sky. Wow. I wonder if I've even progressed far enough in the main quest for the dragons to start spawning. They don't spawn until you do that first quest at... Is it at Kinnereth? That burned down fortress with the... where you fight that dragon with the house Carl of the Jarl. There used to be 2 fireflies here, but I took one. My bad. Let's see if this is open. Nope. Don't want to get in trouble. The Thieves Guild left a mark here. I don't remember what that one means. Oh, the Thieves Guild left a mark here too. I think that's the same one. I love the subtle touches in this game like that. The Bannered Mare. Is it open or are they leaving? It's open.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
They all just drank and ate at the same time. Okay, I'm glad to see that it's popular in here now.
Oh, Sadia.
Yes, Mum?
We're running low on the Blackbriar mead. In a couple of days, I'll have you make a run, fetch
Oops.
some more.
Oh, yes, Mum. I'll make sure it gets done.
Sadia, wake up, dear.
Yes, Mum. You want a drink? Depends. Are you thirsty? Hungry? Both.
I guess I'll take an ale. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, I'm sure it has. And this is peaceful. What is it? I think it's under food. Yeah. Can't be rude and not drink it. Wonder who that guy is. Hello, sir.
I work for Bellathor at the general goods store.
Oh, you poor man. If you don't know Skyrim, then lucky you don't have to know Bellathor, but he is an absolute stain on the earth. He's a jerk. He makes jokes about selling his sister and dumb stuff like that. Since it's nighttime, I'm not sure when anything will open back up. So let's go ahead and explore the wilderness. And we don't have to talk to anybody out there. Avoiding people is a great way to spend our time. In the game and in real life. My first ever playthrough of Skyrim was on the Xbox 360. And for some reason, it almost worked. In some ways it worked better there than it did on my my Xbox One S. Because on my Xbox One, I kept having this issue where if I played the game for too long, like not in the same day, but like if I progressed too far into the game, then it would just, over time, it would slow down more and more with every loading screen, and then eventually I'd get to the point where I couldn't go through a door without the game crashing. Which, on one of my playthroughs, meant that I was stuck inside an inn forever. It still am on that playthrough. Which really stinks. You can't really play the game if you can't go through doors. So and I tried to find a fix, and I did have a few mods, but even downloading
just north by the Lauria's farm.
a jester.
Coffin in a cart with a broken wheel. Like to see him laugh his way out of that.
Cicero.
Well, sounds like you've had quite the journey, Uthka. But you were gone longer than usual.
But yeah, you can't really play the game if you can't go through doors. But then on the Xbox 360, I never had that issue. Of course, it's a bit slower, and occasionally whenever I would be loading something, my game would crash, and then it would really suck if I hadn't saved for a long time. But it's just one of those things. Man, I got so much nostalgia for my first playthrough of Skyrim. Remember the first time I went to Sovngarde, first time I rode a dragon, my first visit to the, inside the Black Books. So many really cool, diverse things. And originally when I bought it, I didn't buy the version that had the DLCs, like the Legendary Edition. So, and I was going to just buy the DLCs, but that would have cost, I think, $45 at the time. And then I found out I could just go to Best Buy and buy the Legendary Edition for $20. So I just bought the game again, basically. So then I had 2 copies of Skyrim, and I might still have them both somewhere, I'm not sure, I don't remember. But and then I got, well, everything is digital now, right? So whenever I bought the anthology of the Elder Scrolls games, which means basically just every single Elder Scrolls game that's out right now, from Arena to Skyrim, all of the games, except for Skyrim, came on discs. But Skyrim, and I bought it for the PC, so they're all discs that go into the PC. But of course, most PCs don't have disc trays anymore. So the copy of the game that I got for Skyrim was just a Steam download code, which is a little lame, but more useful, to be fair. Another locked door, probably. Yes. Let's not break into anything tonight. We'll keep things peaceful. I wish it would turn into daytime, but I don't want to skip the time. I want to let it be natural, but nighttime is sure taking a while. Maybe we just follow the road and see where it takes us. Let me go ahead and pull up one of those stories. Okay, here's a good one. So back in, I think it was 5th grade, I was in the GT class, and I'm not saying that to brag. I mean, I'm definitely would not fit into a GT class now, but basically it was like the gifted class, and because we were quote-unquote special, we had to do extra projects and stuff. And one of those projects that we did was we invented new toys. And we had to make a prototype of the toy, not necessarily actually working if it was something that was kind of like difficult to build, but just something that resembled what we were trying to make. And my toy was called the Fact Yo, and it was a yo-yo that, and I don't know how I came up with this, but It was a yo-yo that when you used it, it would spit out random facts. And I don't know why I thought that that was fun. It's probably the only thing I could think of at the time. But, I mean, again, I was 10 years old. But we had to make, of course, the prototype, and we had to make a poster presentation, and then we also had to make a video presentation for it. And the video we had to show to everyone in our grade. Like, not just our class, but everyone. And because it was called the Fact Yo, my video contained a lot of, what is his name? Randy Jackson? The guy from, I only know him from American Idol, but he says yo a lot, or said, and so, and like dog and stuff like that. So he was kind of the mascot for my toy. And he was in my video and on my poster. And the way that I built my prototype was, do you remember Tamagotchis? The little, like the little keychain machine that had a pet that you take care of? So I took 2 Tamagotchis and glued them back to back and then wrapped a string around the middle to turn them into a yo-yo. And of course it didn't work very well as a yo-yo, and it didn't spit out facts. It was just, it didn't have to like work like that. Cicero. But that was my prototype, and you know what? It worked for what I needed it to do. It was just kind of a ridiculous thing, and oh my gosh, showing the whole school, or our whole grade, my video was so embarrassing. Let's talk to Cicero.
Ah, bother and befuddle! Stuck here! Stuck! My poor mother. Unmoving, at rest, but too still. Oh, poor Cicero is stuck. Can't you see? I was transporting my dear, sweet mother. Well, not her. Her corpse. She's quite dead. I'm taking Mother to a new home, a new crypt, but... Ah! Wagon wheel! Damnedest wagon wheel! It broke. Don't you see? Oh! Oh, yes! Yes, the kindly stranger can certainly help. Go to the farm, the Lorius farm, just over there, off the road. Talk to Lorius. He has tools. He can help me. But he won't. He refuses. Convince Lorius to fix my wheel. Do that, and poor Cicero will reward you with coin. Gleamy, shiny coin.
It's funny watching his lips move completely differently from his words. Alright, well, one day I'll do that. For now, we continue along the road. Into the forests of Skyrim. The snowy, lovely landscape. Did you have any interesting experiences like that in elementary school, though? Because I'm really curious if that was a unique experience or not. I think that there are a lot of... I mean, you can be pretty creative as an elementary school teacher, right? Coming up with things to have your students do, projects for them. I think that projects get a lot more boring once you get to middle and high school, unfortunately. But, for example, one of the projects I had in high school was for my government class in my senior year. We had to make a comic, which, you know, that's fun, right? But it had to be based on government topics. I don't remember what mine was about specifically, but I definitely procrastinated on mine and ended up getting like a 60 on it simply because I turned it in late. Man, I lost all my motivation once I hit high school. Senioritis hit me freshman year. I even remember my first failing grade. Like my first failing test grade ever was in 7th grade, but it was kind of ridiculous. It was a group test that we had done, and it was extremely hard. We all failed it. Well, yeah, because it was a group test. We failed it together. But it's just kind of a dumb experience, but anyway, my first individual failing grade was in 9th grade biology. We dissected fetal pigs, and we had to take a test on the parts, like the individual organs, labeling them basically. And I think I got a 60 on it. A 60 something. And I knew I was gonna fail because I didn't study. So, but I just could not remember which organ was which, and I mean, 60 is still more than half of the questions right, but yeah, it went pretty poorly, and so I was very upset at my first failing grade, and then after that, it all went downhill. I stopped caring about failing, and I still passed with honors, or graduated with honors, but certainly not as high of honors as if I had actually tried. But it really doesn't matter because as long as you got your high school diploma, no one cares how well you did in high school. No one even cares about your grades in college as long as you got your degree. And degrees don't even matter much anymore anyway. You have to have at least a master's for anybody to take you seriously. I see people up there. I wonder what they're doing. And even if you have a degree, a bachelor's, master's, or whatever, it hardly even matters anyway, because you could still end up in a minimum wage job working for pennies. What are they? Is this just 3 drunks hanging out together?
Speak, elf.
That's rude.
Hmm? Hmm?
Oh. Is that a hat or hair? I think it's a hat. Or a scarf. Moving on. Now the sky's gotten a bit less cloudy, but it's still quite dark. Let's pull up another story. I feel like I can't think on my own today. Oh, here's a super fun story from whenever I was, elementary school age of some age, but I don't remember how old exactly. But I have always struggled with horror. And, you know, when you're in elementary school, the elementary school version of horror is the Goosebumps books and movies. And I was at my best friend's house, my best friend at the time, and she wanted to watch the Goosebumps movies, and I think we watched one that had something to do with things. I don't remember the movie at all, but I remember the twist at the end where there were giant ants on a plane. But the one that I remember more vividly was the one where they like kidnap kids from the school and replace them with puppets of themselves or something like that. And that haunted me. So, but it wasn't the only thing haunting me that night, because for some reason I got super sick off of the chicken nuggets and gravy that her mom had made, which totally not her mom's fault, but I got sick and started throwing up. So I had chicken nuggets and gravy haunting my stomach, and this puppet Goosebumps movie haunting my brain, and I had to go home early because I was sick. But so I didn't even have like my friend there to comfort me whenever I was terrified from the Goosebumps movies. Instead, I was sleeping in my parents' room, and you know, at least I wasn't like in my room alone, but they were, sorry, let's not watch this man sleep. But I was just stuck awake and miserable while they were sleeping. And I still don't know why I got sick, because no one around me got sick, and which means that it probably wasn't a virus. And also my friend got sick, or didn't get sick, which probably means it wasn't food poisoning. So I don't know what happened that night. Oh, I didn't mean to leave. I thought that was another room, but that's okay. Oh, finally. It's getting to be morning. But yeah, so that was a miserable experience. And for a very, very, very long time, I could not have chicken and gravy, fried chicken and gravy. I also don't like white gravy though, so not a big loss, but just the thought of it made me sick. And fried chicken and white gravy is a pretty common combination in the southern United States, so not a fun thing to be avoidant to. But again, it's not like I wanted to eat it anyway, so it was okay. Okay, I just took a short break to get a coffee because I think it'll help me wake up a little bit more. Throughout my life, coffee has never helped me wake up until very recently, and it might be because I used to not drink very much, and now I drink like a cup a day, which for some people is not very much, but for me is a lot. So it's because there's free coffee at work. And then I got, for my Keurig, I got these disposable. And I know Keurig's K-cups are terrible for the environment. I know, but they're so convenient. And I also have a reusable one, but I wanted to try a variety of flavors. So I got this variety pack of K-cups, and it comes with a bunch of different flavors, including like, there's even some fruity ones, like raspberry chocolate and blueberry, but then there's like vanilla, caramel, chocolate, grandma's cookie, oatmeal cookie, a bunch of ones like that, and they're delicious. Even I'm not a fruity coffee kind of person, but even the blueberry and raspberry ones are pretty good. It's just the only one I can't stand is the peanut butter, because I am not a peanut butter person. The only peanut butter I can have, or like that I can stand to have, is on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Otherwise, if it's Reese's or Nutter Butters or peanut butter and banana sandwiches even, I can't do it. Even the smell of peanut butter, I'm not a fan of. I don't know why, I just don't like it. But on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, it's good. I couldn't explain that one to you, but... So, I got some coffee because lately it has been helping me wake up, and I feel like my brain is already catching up to the point that I can actually think about things, and I'm still not a great speaker, but so things are still gonna come out with pauses and breaks, but I feel like my brain is actually working at its normal speed now. The past few days, I don't know what it is, but the past few days specifically, before that, even if I skipped a day of coffee, I was perfectly fine, but for some reason, starting this week, whenever I try to go without coffee, I feel extremely exhausted, and I can't think, and all I feel is tired and brain fog, so I don't know what's going on. But I feel better now that I at least got a little bit of caffeine into me. So that's good, and hopefully I'll be able to think a little better now. Also, sorry if you heard a dog collar jingling in the background. That's Bingo, but I just took his collar off, so hopefully he's playing with a toy right now, so it's the movement, but hopefully without his collar it'll be a little bit quieter. As long as nobody decides to jump up and start barking at whatever random sound, because they love to do that. I'm walking in circles. How do I get out of here? I don't even know where I am. But I believe that these are bandits. So, thankfully, they don't even know I'm here. I'm practically invisible. Would be a good place to farm for gold, though. The problem with me being more awake is that I'm more likely to forget that I need to be slow and deliberate with my speaking and my movements, and... Oh. Oops. And I am more prone to accidentally moving the camera more quickly or speaking more loudly. So hopefully that's not an issue, but it might be. But we'll see. I think it's that way. Yeah, that looks like the way that I came in. Well, didn't I come through a gate or something? I don't know. This is out though, so this is fine. But anyway, let's see, what else? I can't tell if OBS slows down when I have it open or not, but I'm watching the recording right now and it looks like it's being a little bit laggy. I don't know. So, what's going on with you? What are you doing in life? I'd like to know about your aspirations, your goals, and of course if you're trying to sleep, keep trying to sleep. But I like to know what people's dreams are in life. Like, if you could, especially if it's something, like, really ambitious. And of course, if your dream is to be a cashier at Walmart, then that is perfectly fine. That is a great aspiration to have if that would make you happy. But I love to know what people's passions are. And passion is kind of a loaded term, because what is passion anyway? And do we need passion? What if you don't have something you're passionate about? Are you less than somebody else? The answer is no. Obviously not. I don't even know what I'm passionate about. Because I know... Right, I've got, like, things that I really like. Like, I've always loved animals. I love dragons, but it's not like I'm hyper-focused on... And I have been... I don't know. I've loved animals throughout my life, and there have been times where, especially if I'm interested in getting a new one, or not that I adopt every animal that I research, but like if there's an animal that I really want, then I'll do a ton of research on it, watch a bunch of videos, join their subreddit, learn everything I can, like r/parrots, r/bearded dragons, r/snakes, r/rats, and just learn everything that there is to learn about that animal. But then I will lose, it's like ADHD hyperfocus, I guess. Like, I'll get hyper-focused on a specific animal or a specific, like, way to enrich my animals or whatever. And then that'll last maybe a month. And then the hyper-focus dies. Who is this? What?
What was that?
Oh, okay. Anyway, the hyper-focus dies. And then I just... It's not that I stop caring about it. Like, I still think it would be super cool to have a parrot, but I know that I am not in a place to do that right now, and maybe not ever, just because of the amount... It takes a lot to own a parrot, because you have to be there. It's like having a child, and I don't want a child, so having a parrot might not be. But anyway, back to the point. I don't know if that's like... I love animals, and I like learning about them whenever I'm in the mood, but I don't know if they're like my passion, because... And they used to be... They absolutely... I used to say that art and animals were my passions. Like, my two big passions. And I still love those things, but... I don't know, if passion is defined as something that you'd want to do for the rest of your life, then I don't know. And I think I've come to this conclusion that maybe I don't have a passion because of my YouTube journey and trying to figure out what niche I would be happy making videos on for the rest of my life. And just the answer kind of feels like nothing. And I don't know, maybe like doing this I would be happy doing for the rest of my life, but also I need some variety. I don't know. Because I tried making art videos, and it's just, I like making art and crafts, but a new project every week ended up burning me out super quickly. So... And it's always been something that I just kind of do whenever I'm in the mood. So I don't know if that makes it a passion. And although I do like finding new ideas for it, maybe that's a passion. I don't know. Coming up with ideas that I never follow through on. I think that's just an ADHD quirk. And then animals. I came up with several ideas for making videos about involving animals, but even just I don't even have to make them. Even just thinking about them, I realize that it's not something that will make me feel creatively fulfilled to do for a long term. And so I don't know, if passion means it's something that you would want to do for work for the rest of your life, then I don't know if I have a passion. I like video games, I like art, I love animals. Well, I guess I love all three of those things. I have spent a lot of time in my life doing all three of those things. Well, not, you don't do animals, but you know what I mean. I get a lot of fulfillment out of being with my animals and enriching their lives, but not consistently, only when I'm in the mood. I mean, you don't just hang out with animals when you're in the mood, but you know what, like, I'll get on a kick of, like, redoing my snake tank, for example, or getting a bunch of toys for the ferrets, but then that excitement will die out, and then I'll go back to just kind of, I don't know, like, I don't know. Does any of this make sense? Obviously, I don't stop taking care of the animals whenever the excitement about doing that kind of stuff dies down. And I also don't stop... Oh, the College of Winterhold. And I also don't stop coming up with... I always knew I wanted to be a business owner. And I will constantly come up with ideas of things that I could sell, like products. And so even whenever I'm not in the mood to make art, I'm constantly thinking of things that I could make and sell. But then the problem is there's nothing that I would want to consistently make and feel satisfied. And the other problem is we've all got different strengths, right? But being a business owner means that you have to take on all of the responsibilities. If you're doing it by yourself, you have to do it by yourself. And if you're not strong in all of those areas that you would need, like being the creator and being the business manager, which I'm strong in being a creator, but I'm not strong in management. And that's okay. That's just how I am. It's how I was made. But the problem is, I don't have a partner who can take on those roles, like a business partner. So I'm just stuck coming up with ideas, and it's not that I couldn't, well, obviously you can teach yourself things that you're not strong in, but I get very burnt out doing all of the things that make me feel that aren't my strengths, and when all of those things take up all of my energy, I don't have any energy left to put into creating things like I want to. So every time I've tried to sell things, I just get really burn out really fast because of all of that. And it's difficult. It's hard. So maybe one day I will find someone that I can do those things with, but until then, I just keep developing ideas and taking them nowhere. And it'll help. Like, I'll probably one day have sell things through YouTube, like sell things that I make, just so that my audience here can share with me the joy of the things that I make. But even then, it'll just be, it's not like it's going to be enough for me to be able to support myself solely off of the things that I make, because I'm only, outside of making the videos, I'll only have time to make, like, craft things a little bit. So I don't I know this is a lot. Ooh, is that a skeleton? I think so. It kind of looks like a stick. But it can be hard. And I think a lot of us in our generation want to be entrepreneurs because, yeah, so cute. Because we want to be our own bosses, and we don't want to have to work under somebody else. Or freelancers. Freelancing is another one where you kind of have a boss because you work for the people that hire you, but really you're like contracting yourself out, so you're still your own boss. You get to work a lot of times your own hours. But there's a lot more risk in that. Income is less consistent. And still, you're not safe whenever you're just working a regular 9 to 5 because you can get fired at any time. I think there's only one state in the entirety of the United States that has contract employment versus at-will employment. And at-will employment is good because then you can leave at any point for any reason. So if your job is toxic, you're free to go. There's nothing forcing you to stay. But that also means that your boss can let you go at any time for any reason. They don't have to justify themselves. Which is a terrible thing. Because one day you can be perfectly fine, have consistent income, you're paying off your car, your house, your bills. Then the next day, you have zero income, and you have to figure it all out, find a new job, go through the awful process of interviewing, and so it's hard. It makes things a lot. It's nice to be able to work for yourself for that reason. But again, income is still unreliable because you have to be able to rely on work being constantly available, and it just isn't always, especially if you're in a more seasonal field where things are more popular during certain times of the year. Or if you are a business owner and you are making, well, let's say you're an artist, you're making your own stuff, then you have to rely on doing all of your own marketing. And even if you're not making, you're like a freelancer, you have to still market yourself. I don't know, there's just so much to this. And all I want to do is leave the corporate 9 to 5 world, go into business for myself, and not have to do, I mean, doing that you still have to do things that you don't want to do sometimes, but at least then I would be doing it to benefit me versus doing it to benefit some CEO that doesn't even know I exist. Whereas he's super rich, making tons of money, and I can't even afford to live on my own. Isn't that unfair? Let's go to that shipwreck. So you know what? Existing in this world is hard. And I know all of these are good problems to have compared to if I lived in a less developed country, for example. But there's still other things. I don't know. I thought that was like a squid. I was like, when did Skyrim get squids? But there's plenty of reasons that living in America is tough right now as well. What is wrong with your face? Oh, it's more paint.
Must be my imagination.
Yeah, it's just your imagination. Barnacles, I think. No, those look like... Why does it look like there's skeletons in there? Yeah, not to get all depressing, I'm sorry. But every time I make one of these episodes, I end up getting into something really deep. I can't help it. But on the bright side, the coffee definitely worked, and I feel a lot more thinky. I feel like I can think a lot more versus just being a witness to my own life, just sitting back and watching versus being an active participant in what's going on, if that makes any sense. On the less bright side, I can already tell I'm talking louder than I was, so let me settle back into a more relaxed tone, speaking quietly to you while you're either, whether I'm in the background of what you're doing today, or maybe I am helping you sleep. Let me just settle back into the intention of the video. I think whenever I start getting onto a tangent about something that I have strong feelings about, I can't help it. I just start talking in a normal voice again because I am not... I mean, practice will help me get more used to speaking in the sleep content kind of voice, but I'm not used to it right now, so I just have to keep reminding myself. How am I gonna get up there? I don't think I've ever noticed the fact that there's like buildings that fell down the cliff there. And the things you notice when you just wander the game versus doing things quest by quest. I can't believe we wandered from Whiterun to Winterhold so quickly. I get really amazed with myself when I make these videos and I see how quickly I can get from place to place. And I quickly is not probably maybe a very accurate word because we have been here for like an hour now. And going from Whiterun to Winterhold in an hour it's a long time. But still, it's just the fact that, I mean, we've detoured quite a bit, and the fact that I just kind of wandered all the way across the map is kind of crazy. Been doing a lot of parkouring, climbing on things. So how do we get up there? That's the real question. There's gotta be a ramp around here somewhere, right? Like a natural slope. I think we found it. Man, I'm so good at this. I'm stuck on something. Oh, there we go. A rabbit. Did you do the College of Winterhold quests? Personally, I feel like they don't really get you that much. It's not like it helps you that much with being a mage. And like, you don't learn that. Well, okay, I'm not a very good mage. I never use ward spells or anything like that. And maybe I should. I don't usually play a mage. I almost always play a wood elf. And which generally means I end up being, well, don't we all end up being sneak archers at some point? But because of the limit of your magic meter, which is called magicka if you're not used to Skyrim, being a mage feels inefficient unless you have a really high magic limit. And everywhere we go just feels so empty. Well, I guess that the bandit camp at the Dwarven Ruins wasn't empty, but this feels empty. There's someone. Few someones. Okay, we got people. Let's go in here. And see what we've got going on in here. Oh, this is the Jarls. I forget. Whenever I can't see the names on the door, I forget. I should have known because of the crown, though. Isn't this the Jarl that... No, never mind. Spoilers. Let's walk around and see what we can find. A child. He looks just like Jarl Balgruuf's son. Imagine that. Not a whole lot in this room. A lot of money and alcohol. I hope this isn't that child's room. Let's try this side. You know, with the Thieves Guild leaving markers outside of a bunch of doors across the land, you'd think somebody would start to notice and do something, like scratch them out or something, so that maybe their house wouldn't be a target. But I don't know, maybe they're not as noticeable as... Because obviously, when you know what you're looking for, it's easier to spot them. But if you don't know about them, you don't know what you're looking for, then... But I feel like if it was my own house, I would notice... Well, I guess they're not on that many. It's not like they're on every door. But the last one I saw was one of those in Whiterun. But you know, if it was my own house, I would notice. Oh.
Some horrible monster was turned inside out and then exploded. What did you do?
It was a minor miscalculation. I've already corrected it for future experiments.
This is why people have a problem with your college, Nelagar.
Well, that's not nice. Whoa, there's a lot of smoke coming out of this little candle. Could he just sniff me? What would happen if I take his gold? He doesn't notice. Okay. Well, mine now. Probably not much going on in this inn. We'll look for something else. Whenever I was taking my coffee break earlier, I came across this Reddit story, because Reddit is my go-to for quiet entertainment. Watching, like, TikToks or YouTube shorts used to be my go-to, but I mean, like I just said, it's not quiet, so it's harder when you're in public, and I don't know, you can find a lot of interesting things on Reddit. I mean, you can find a lot of interesting things on TikTok as well, but also a lot of really dumb things. So at least Reddit shows me things from the subreddits that I've joined, so I know that it's things that I am interested in. But I came across this r/am I overreacting post, and it was about this poor woman whose fiance had spent $600 trying to get this one character in Genshin Impact. And apparently they were living paycheck to paycheck, and she was working 55 hours a week. And he was, I think, driving Uber while she was at work. I feel so horrible, and it sounds like they're going to break off their engagement, which it seems like is a good idea, but it's just so awful. I would be absolutely livid if my partner spent $600 on something dumb like that. And I know it's important to him, but it's not as important as real life. I would be livid. I feel awful for that woman. And of course, the people in the comments were on her side, because why wouldn't they be? It seemed like that person.
Bridge at your own peril.
I thought I would be able to walk right past her. I guess not.
Will not open. You shall not gain entry.
It's been a pleasure.
It doesn't sound like it's been a pleasure. Maybe I'll come back to her in a bit. But what was I saying? Oh well. But yeah, the people in the comments were on her side. Because, obviously. And she had posted text screenshots of their conversation, her and her fiance. And he was trying to defend himself by saying that this character was really important to him, and he had had the character as his wallpaper for a long time. But seriously, paying rent is important. Paying bills is important. Not pissing off your fiance is important. And if you can't trust, I mean, imagine if they got married and he put them into, you could ruin someone's life by marrying them and putting them into a bunch of debt. All over some silly game. It's ridiculous. And of course, I have no place to judge. I have my own issues, my own things that I shouldn't spend money on, but I do have, thankfully, an awareness of how much is too much. I wonder where we'll wander to next. I'll just keep following the path. Ooh, there's a goat. You know, the thing that made me pick Wood Elf the very first time I ever played Skyrim was because they had the command animal shout. No, not shout. The befriend. It's the powers that the different races have, and the Wood Elves have like a befriend animal power, and that you can use once a day. And honestly, the power is pretty useless. But I didn't know that whenever I first chose it, and I thought that it was so cool because I was either going to pick Khajiit because it's an animal person, and I know that makes me sound like a furry, but I just like animals. And so I was either going to pick Khajiit or I was going to pick Argonian, but then I read about the Wood Elf command animal thing, and they were an actual human, and I like elves. Well, yeah. So I picked that, the Wood Elf. And ever since then, I've been a Wood Elf on almost every playthrough. After the first time, I didn't pick Wood Elf for the shout, but I don't know, Wood Elf feels closest to my heart of all of them. Although, the Khajiit power to the fact that your unarmed attacks do more than a lot of the early game weapons is a pretty good power. And what else? They have night vision too, I think. I don't know, and I think they have like better sneak skills, but the Wood Elf archery is really nice because again, we all end up being sneak archers at some point or another, and having that be a little more powerful is handy. And then there's some mod, I forgot which one it is, but it's you can get like better racial perks or something. I forgot, but it adds, in order to unlock those better racial powers, it adds quests that are unique to each race. And the Wood Elf one is that you have to hunt down specific glowing green animals. And I think you have to hunt down like 25. I don't know if any of what I'm saying is making sense because I just kind of started going off into this direction, but you have to like hunt down 25 of these randomly glowing green animals, and all the glowing green animals have special loot, like gems and coins and stuff. And I don't even remember what the better racial perk that you get is from it, but I think it was something better than just the befriend animal power, but I don't really remember. But I like adding mods that make the game mechanics a little more interesting. Or well, I don't know. I like things like magic systems and like spells, shouts, etc. Enchantments. So I like mods that add new ones and more interesting ones. I saw one once that a long time ago where you can place, so right, if you reverse pickpocket, oh my goodness, potions into people's pockets, then you can have those potions affect them. And I saw, oh no, it wasn't a potion, I think it was like a magic spell where you can sneakily put a spell on someone and then like 10 seconds later they collapse and die, so no one knows it was you because it had a delayed effect, and you could do it sneakily, but it seemed pretty cool. So, but I'm like 80% sure that was from a mod, and I don't know what mod, because I just saw a video of it one time and didn't find out ever what mod it was from, but it might have been one of those like main overhaul, magic overhaul mods, I'm not sure, but it was pretty cool. I stepped away again for a quick break, and now I'm back, so I don't remember if we were talking about anything important, but here we are again. I'm a little unwell at the moment. Not like seriously unwell, but just in a chronic illness kind of way. But it's okay. We are doing a low spoons activity. So, and if you aren't familiar with the spoon theory of chronic illness, I forget who it was coined by, but it basically quote unquote spoons represents the energy that you have for the day, and some days you have more spoons, some days you have less. On a bad day, you might only be able to have enough energy to lay in bed and watch a show or something, whereas on a good day you might have the energy to go out, run errands, and be completely okay. On a bad day you might need to use a cane to get around. On a good day you might be perfectly fine walking toward the... I think I just got a quest. You might be perfectly fine parking at the end of a parking lot and walking all the way to the front. But the explanation of spoon theory is that... oh, it's a prisoner transport. I wonder why they don't just do it on wagons. This guy's feet are gonna freeze off. Oh, and the Khajiit caravan. Without their caravan. But anyway, the explanation of why it's spoons is because the woman who coined the term was trying to explain this energy imbalance to someone that she was, I think, at like a cafe with. And so she, in order to physically explain her point, she grabbed some spoons and laid them out on the table and like pushed a few forward to represent a day where she only has a little bit of energy, and pushed all of them forward to represent a day where she has a lot of energy, and then took spoons away one at a time to represent how doing, let's say, washing the dishes takes 2 spoons versus putting the groceries away takes 5 spoons, or, you know, or even like responding to text messages maybe takes 1 spoon. Either way, things like this, they do take... you don't think about it when you don't deal with this kind of stuff if you're... and this is physically or mentally, because you can definitely have a spoon deficit if you've got mental stuff going on. Like maybe one day your depression or anxiety is worse than another day, and you only have it in you to do one thing. Maybe you don't even have it in you to get up and shower, because that takes spoons. And it's okay. It's totally okay, because hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. So it's hard to explain. It's hard for neurotypical / non-chronically ill people, non-disabled people to understand, and this is just a way to help them be able to visualize the concept. But spoons. So if you hear a chronically ill person mention not having the spoons for something, that's what they mean. They basically just mean the energy. And when you phrase it as not having the energy, it sounds like you're lazy, because if you don't understand the fact that it's really hard to get the energy to do normal things whenever you've got a lot going on in your brain or body, it just sounds like you're a lazy person who doesn't want to wash the dishes, or gross person who doesn't want to shower. But it's not, that's not it. It's a genuine issue, and it just... but sometimes people will just get stuck in their ways, and there is no convincing them, no explaining it to them. And those people, they make things pretty hard, but it's not worth trying to convince them. It's something that I've learned, is that if they don't understand and refuse to understand, it's not worth trying to convince them, because they won't listen. So we stand strong, my fellow physically and mentally disabled people. We stand strong, and don't let those people get to us. But walking around Skyrim is a pretty low spoons activity. Coming up with things to say does take some spoons, but it's just a matter of my brain is constantly going and going and going anyway, as long as I'm awake enough, because the coffee definitely helped. But as all I have to do is speak those thoughts out loud, those thoughts that would be churning in my mind anyway. So it's not too hard. Sometimes I have to filter myself, and that can take some mental energy trying to figure out, should I say this or should I not say this? And I already may have said more than I should have said, but I don't know. This is me, authentically, genuinely me. And hopefully that's why you're here, to listen to someone ramble who is not afraid to speak what's on my mind. And maybe if you prefer content that's less focused on me and my issues, then I completely understand that. And I'll try to come up with, for future videos, I'll try to come up with things to talk about that are more general, less about myself. It's easy to talk about myself because I know that's a subject that I know better than anything else.
You come here where you're not wanted. You eat our food, you pollute our city with your stink, and you refuse to help the Stormcloaks.
We haven't taken a side because it's not our fight.
Hey, maybe the reason these Greyskins don't help in the war is because they're Imperial spies.
Imperial spies? You can't be serious.
Maybe we'll pay you a visit tonight, little spy. We got ways of finding out what you really are.
These people are horrible.
Do you hate the Dark Elves? Are you here to bully us and tell us to leave? You've come to the wrong city then. Windhelm's a haven of prejudice and narrow thinking, unworthy of one such as you.
I wonder why they don't move. Maybe because Windhelm is so far from everything else.
Nothing new there. Most of the Nords living in Windhelm don't care much for us, but Rolf is the worst by far. He likes to get drunk and walk around the Grey Quarter yelling insults at us in the small hours of the morning. Oh, a real charmer, that one. Good to see you. All right then.
Alright then. But yeah, maybe I can come up with something to talk about during these that's a little less about myself and a little less deep, but I'm not sure what that would be yet. I don't know, maybe I could talk about the things that I've learned about animals or something. I don't know. We'll see, I'll think of something. Let's go down into the Grey Quarter. I do not like Windhelm. Not only is it just an awful, dark, and murderous, racist city. Is that a skeever? Where is it? But it also, in my Xbox game, or my Xbox 360 game, I'm pretty sure Windhelm constantly crashed my game. It was something like that it caused a bunch of issues, but it was like constantly crashing my game, so I avoided it as much as possible. But also, the murder quest, if you don't do it immediately, like if you leave the city and come back later on, the blood trail that you're supposed to follow disappears, so you basically just have to look up the answer about where you're supposed to go. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's not even a skeever, that's just a rat. And I'm pretty sure it spawned in front of me. That's weird. I don't don't think I've ever seen a normal... Ooh, I forgot how to crouch. What? There we go. I don't think I've ever seen a normal rat. That's... why? Well, no, it is just like a mini skeever, isn't it? Because it doesn't have a rat tail. That's weird. Let's go pet the dog. Hi, baby. Oh, I thought I had the Better Dogs mod. So, oh, I'm sorry. That lets you... You can't actually pet it, but there's like a dialogue option that says pet the dog so you can pretend. He's got some weird feet, actually. Look at those feet. Oh, oh, excuse me, sir. What are you looking at? He's looking at the... No, he's not even looking at the dog. Is he? He's like looking at this corner. I don't know. What was I saying? Whoa. He looked like a yeti from the side. Skeever. It's a loud rat. But yeah, Windhelm sucks. I think that's Calcelmo's place, which is not somewhere I want to be for very specific reasons. Calcelmo is not a good person. I wonder where the beggar lady who teaches you pickpocketing is. She's cool. That's a weird shoulder piece. You know what? Windhelm could be a nice, pretty city if it didn't have so many awful things happening here. And look at all these market stalls. This is fun. Oh, it's kind of making me want to go to a craft fair. Craft fairs are awesome. They're... Why is that cow look so small? What am I stuck on? Okay, well apparently I can't walk this way. Why not? Oh well. But craft fairs are awesome. You get to see all these cool things that people create. And everyone's stuff is so unique. It's got like a piece of them. And I think that that's super cool. I love artists of all types. Like painters, writers, musicians. You can see the pieces of them and the things that they make, and it's just you put a bit of your soul into. That's why small businesses are so much more interesting to support, because, or to get to buy from, because maybe this is Calcelmo's place. Probably. It's got the... Yeah. But yeah, it's fun to buy from a small business, because then you get something that was like really made with love versus just manufactured to make tons and tons of them. I know that's super cheesy, but it's true. But then there's things like this too, like obviously games like this were made by a big studio, but there's so much love poured into it. Like it's truly a labor of love. That's the term I was going for. Because you can see it's not just, and yeah, a lot of like the quests and stuff are copy paste in a way, because it's just retrieving something, killing a bandit camp leader and stuff, but there's so many big elaborate quests that are totally unique. Like the werewolf quests, even aside from the DLCs, like there's werewolves, there's the Dark Brotherhood, there's the Thieves Guild. All those are completely separate and unique from the main quest, with unique types of missions and interactions, and even things that you can, like benefits that your character gets, like turning into a werewolf. It's awesome. And I love to see, and I'm glad that Elder Scrolls 6 is taking so long to come out, because hopefully they're doing similar, where they're putting a bunch of effort into making it a masterpiece. And I know it probably won't have dragons, which is really unfortunate, but I will still play it. I didn't play Starfield, but I heard that it was not that great anyway. I'm much more into the fantasy type of experience versus, like, I'm just not really into the space thing, which is why I didn't play Starfield. But that's just me. If you played it and you enjoyed it, I would love to know about it. I'd love to hear about it, because I haven't seen very good things, but I also know that a lot of times people will hate on something just because it's popular and didn't meet their expectations. Like, for example, I read the Fourth Wing series recently, and I avoided it for a really long time because I had read or seen bad things about it. Like, I knew that it was super popular, but I had heard, I think specifically I had seen a bunch of TikTokers talking about how it wasn't as good as people made it out to be, so I avoided reading it. But then whenever I eventually did read it, I realized that it actually was pretty good. And I enjoyed it a lot. And yes, it probably would be better under a different author, if we're being honest. But the story, the concept is great, and I think the author is a pretty good storyteller. Well, she's a good story generator, I guess. Like, she comes up with, the story that she came up with is good. But maybe she needs more fantasy writing experience, or just writing experience in general, because there's a lot of repetitiveness, and there are a lot of things that could be explained much better, things that weren't really thought out, and that's no hate to her at all, but I'm just saying I can understand why people have issues with it. But overall, I really enjoyed it.
We've been soldiers a long time.
Wait, where
we
are
know
they?
the price of freedom, but people are still weighing things in their hearts.
What's left of Skyrim to wager?
They have families to think of.
How many of their sons and daughters follow your banner? We are their families.
Well put, friend. Tell me, Garmar, why do you fight for me?
I'd follow you into the depths of oblivion. You know that.
Yes, but why do you fight? If not for me, what then?
I'll die before elves dictate the fates of men. Are we not one in this?
I fight for the men I've held in my arms, dying on foreign soil. I fight for their wives and children whose names I heard whispered in their last breath. I fight for we few who did come home, only to find our country full of strangers wearing familiar faces. I fight for my people, impoverished to pay the debts of an empire too weak to rule them, yet brands them criminals for wanting to rule themselves. I fight so that all the fighting I've already done hasn't been for nothing. I fight because I must.
Your words give voice to what we all feel, Ulfric. And that's why you will be High King. But the day words are enough will be the day when soldiers like us are no longer needed.
I would gladly retire from the world, were such a day to dawn.
Aye, but in the meantime, we have a war to plan.
Say what you will about Ulfric, but I think his motivations are solid. Why? I don't really know what side of the Civil War is quote-unquote right, and I think that that's the whole point. There's not supposed to be a right and wrong side. And I am all for being a rebel. And don't hate me. Don't hate me for defending the Stormcloaks. But I think that their motivations are solid. And why are people in Skyrim allowing the elves to dictate who they can and can't worship? Oop. And I get it, like if they believe that the gods would be offended by them revering Talos as one of them, then I can understand them not wanting people to worship him. But I don't know, let people believe what they want to believe. And besides, if we can talk to the gods, like at least we know some people in Skyrim like the Dragonborn, unless the Dragonborn is the first person ever to be able to communicate with the Daedra, or the Aedra. But I doubt that's possible, or that that's true. If there are people who can talk to the gods, why don't we just ask them what they think? And then whatever it is that they want is what we do, because the gods can smite the cities if they want to, so let's do whatever makes them happy. Why don't we just ask them? I don't know. But I typically join the side of the Imperials just because whenever I first played, well actually I've only done the Civil War questline once, the very first time, but I joined the Imperials that time because I had asked my friend which side I should join and they said Imperials, and I don't know why, but they did. And the Imperials do have the dragon logo, and that's pretty darn cool. So, but I think if I was to do it again, the reason I haven't done it since that first time is because I don't know what side to join. But if I was to do it again, at this point I probably would join the Stormcloaks, because I am all for sticking it to the man, and I am very much on the reject authority bandwagon. So, yeah. And don't hate me for that. Don't hate me. However, I do think that Ulfric cheated whenever he was fighting the High King of, like, the Jarl in Solitude. The High King of Skyrim, I think. I believe that shouting was cheating. Shouting, if you're not familiar with Skyrim, is it's like the dragon magic, but basically you speak certain words and they make magical effects happen. So if the High King did not know that Ulfric could do that and agree to letting him do that, then I think that Ulfric cheated by using shouts. I think that was, if they agreed to just a normal one-on-one fight with swords to the death. Whoa.
No, you don't want to go up there. A dragon, it's attacking.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. Not yet.
I don't think I've ever gotten this interaction.
Don't you know there's a dragon attacking?
Yeah, you just told me. I heard it. Well, if we come across a dragon, that's fine. Braidwood Inn. I'm doing it again. I'm talking more loudly than I should be. Hey, let's see. Was that the innkeeper? Or is it because... No, it must be because it's nighttime. No. Maybe that was the innkeeper. And she would have been in there. Is it still nighttime? I wasn't really paying attention. Morning, I guess. Maybe we go see the dragon. That could be fun. We shouldn't get attacked because I turned the AI detection off, but if the people from... Oh, there he is. If the people that are programmed to interact with me whenever I cross certain thresholds, get to certain places, if they still can talk to me, even though the AI is not supposed to detect me, then maybe this dragon, because it's part of a quest, will still know that I'm there. I don't know. We'll find out. It's not attacking anything, it's just flying around. I've been watching it to see if it uses a breath attack, and it's not. Which, the breath attacks are shouts. And one of the, like, tips, because it has the little tips whenever you open a loading screen. It hasn't been doing that, actually, whenever I've noticed the loading screens, whenever we've been walking around, there haven't been any tips. Or, well, I guess there aren't really tips so much as, like, explanations of things. It just gives you, like, a little tidbit of lore. But, where is he? Oh, there he is.
Salokunir, Zil Gro Dova Ursa.
He...
Slen Teed Fall.
Oh, that's Alduin! Duh, because he brings this dragon back. Oh, yeah.
Alduin Fury. Oantid Vokri Has Relaxation.
Ooh. I have an Alduin pop figure, and I love it so much. My mom got it for me. She's so cool.
Korav need no dove to hide. You do not even know our tongue, do you? Such arrogance to dare take for yourself the name of Nova. Sarukanir, Kridar, Zur.
I'm sorry, I named myself Dova just because I love you so much. I know you're evil, but dragons are so cool. So is he going to attack me? Doesn't look like it. I think he's just circling. Was it snowy here before? Or am I going crazy? Oh, it is still nighttime. Yeah, he's just gonna circle until I turn on the AI detection. Which, I'm not gonna do. Oh, it sounds like he landed somewhere. Oh, is that Delphine? Where is he? There. Delphine's waiting for me. She's just gonna sit here and stare at the dragon until I arrive, I guess. Oh well. I did figure out what part of the main quest I'm on. I'm on the Retrieve the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller quest, which means I shouldn't even know Delphine yet. Wait a minute. Because I'm pretty sure that's the quest where I go to retrieve it, and instead of it being there, there's just a note, and then I go and that's how I meet Delphine. So why is she already at, why did all that stuff at Kynesgrove already happen? If we're not even, I don't know. I'm not used to stumbling upon quest places early. Usually I like follow the main quest immediately. I guess that's the consequence, or well, now I'm learning what it's like to be a person who avoids the main quest and does everything else first. I'm not used to that. Is that, he's still, yeah, he's still flying around. Let's go down to the water, I guess. What city is that? I feel like not a real Skyrim nerd with how much I'm forgetting things. Wait, is this the city we were just in? Probably is. The one, no, this is... Oh yeah, this is back to the Windhelm stables. Is that the same lady?
Need a ride? Until next time.
Tempted to take a horse, but we'll stay on foot. It'd be fun if we traveled to Solitude, but I'm trying to avoid opening menus, which is why I also haven't been checking the time. But maybe if we come across a road sign, we can see which way to get to Solitude. Solitude's a nice city. It's like the New York City of Skyrim. Whoa, that goat just fell from the sky. Well, the only way that it's like the New York City from Skyrim is because it's the biggest city in Skyrim. Otherwise, I didn't know that Windhelm had ports. You can tell how much I pay attention. One time I saw this post, I think it was maybe a Tumblr post from a while ago, where somebody was saying that they like to leave their treasures in random barrels and chests and stuff around the map, because then they can come across them later like a surprise. And then someone posted underneath that, like, who's gonna tell him? Because anything that you leave in a random chest will disappear after 3 days. So all that treasure that he left around Skyrim for himself is completely gone now. Where is the door? Oh, this... okay. No, it's locked. So that's unfortunate for him. But if you leave things in your, like, home chests, then you're good. They don't disappear. Have you ever tried to shoot down a hawk? It is super hard. Well, maybe if you're better aiming than I am, but I have a hard time aiming at where they're going to be versus... Like, I know I have to aim where they're going to be and not where they are, but I have a hard time, I guess, predicting the trajectory of my arrow versus the speed that they're going through the air and if they're gonna turn. And they're pretty predictable. They fly in like the same pattern over and over. But I don't know. I've never been a good aim in real life or in games. Which is part of the reason that I like to play support characters when I'm playing, like, Overwatch. Oh, ow. A bear trap?
I was sure I heard something.
Nope, nothing. This is a broken down inn? Why does he look like he's got a magic effect of some kind on him?
Always have to fight back.
Won't get one rusty scepter from me. See how he likes that.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I thought they were gonna attack me. They must just be regular hunters.
Yes?
I wonder why they're camped out here.
The important stuff.
Hmm. Where can I find a road? Guess we'll just go back to wandering. There's a wolf and a fox. That wolf has a... Oh no, it looked like he had a magic effect of some sort on him too. Let me pull up another story so that I have something to tell you about. What happened here? Someone stripped him. He won't talk to me. Oh, her too. Wonder what happened. Anyway. Oh, a spider. So I went skydiving a couple of years ago for my friend's birthday. And I think that there's something wrong with my brain. I know that there's something wrong with my brain, but for some reason, whenever I was up in the air, this is a pretty short story by the way, but whenever I was up in the air, my brain could not comprehend the fact that, like, I just couldn't really understand what it was seeing. Like, I knew that I was up in the air, but my brain couldn't comprehend the fact that it was real. Like, it just all felt so unreal to me. And the same whenever I revisited the Grand Canyon recently, in recent years. 'Cause the first time I visited it, I don't think I had this problem, but whenever I saw it again, I guess it was just so vast that my brain just couldn't really understand that what I was seeing was real. So, and it's not that, like, I thought that it was a painting, but just, like, it didn't feel real looking at it. So whenever I was skydiving, it, like, wasn't as thrilling as I expected it to be, simply because my brain couldn't understand that what I was seeing was real. And I know that doesn't really make sense, but if you've had a similar experience, I'd love to hear about it. I don't know why my brain did that, or what the implications of that are. Oh. But that's what my experience was like, unfortunately. And it was terrifying, like whenever we were going to jump out of the plane, and it was fun whenever we were going down and my instructor gave me the control of the parachute so that I could like make us spin in circles. That was super fun. Apparently I made it spin too fast because he made me stop. I don't know. Once I was actually falling, the vastness of it was too much and made my brain shut down, I guess. It's the best way I have to explain it. This guy looks really skinny. What, he's in the wall. What? Poke. That's weird. Why is he in the wall? Hmm? I feel like they would be attacking me. Normally. There's Winterhold again. Let's just go this way. Also, if you have any questions for me, I would be more than happy to answer them in a video. Or if it's a short question, I'll probably just answer in a comment, but if it's a question that's pretty in-depth, then I'll probably answer it in a video. What does he want?
Take this and hold on to it. I'll be back for it later. I'll pay you good. Don't lose it.
No time to talk. Snitch or double-cross me and I'll kill you. I mean it.
Yeah, okay.
No time to talk. Snitch or double-cross me
I
and
think
I'll
that
kill you.
person's about to kill you. No, they're after
Did you
me.
see someone run past just now? Great. Thanks. Bastard stole
I'm an
from me.
instigator.
I'll catch him though.
You get him. Get him. He's just... This is ridiculous. I won't do it. I won't interfere. Is he just gonna follow him around and not do anything? And the other guy's not even gonna run away? Okay. Well, you two have fun with that. We shall venture forth. Actually, I think this is probably a good place to stop. We will continue on our journey another day, but for now, we've been at this for a while. It's a good time to go ahead and go to sleep. I hope that I have helped keep you company tonight, and I hope you've had a good, relaxing time. If you have any requests for future videos, feel free to let me know. But until then, have a wonderful night. Sleep well. Good night.